People are employed, there's always going to be that one employee who's always complaining. That is what the deputy president has become. He's a guy who is working in an organization and always complaining about it. In fact, in my opinion, he doesn't need to be impeached. He actually needs to leave if he's not happy. I think he's whining. I think he's trying to play victim, but I do not think it is succeeding.
He can ask the president this issue. I have doubts in our investigation arm of government here. Can you call me FBI? Aenda andike statement na FBI. FBI watatupatia 3 senior officers kutoka US or even 4. Apeane statement yake pale. Wapatiwe nafasi kufanya investigation parallel with Kinoti. And then they disapprove Kinoti professionally. Not him disapproving Kinoti and is not a professional investigator.
Let me tell those people calling themselves the system, William Ruto is a movement that cannot be stopped by anybody. Ile kitu tutasimamisha ni hiyo wasimu inaitwa rege. Hiyo watu wa system waenda wakae chini, waamue ni nani. Wakiamua ni Raila, watuletee tuangushe asubuhi. Kati huo. Ama watuletee Kalonzo. Mutaangusha. Ama walete Musalia. Ama kuna mtu mwingine huko anaitwa Matiang'i. Mko na haja na hiyo mtu?
Wakati alienda huko Garissa, maneno ya Wagara massacre, Raila alijibu. Wakati alienda Mombasa, maneno ya historical injustices, Raila alijibu. Kwa sababu gani? Hiyo inahusu community fulani. Lakini wakati aliingia Meru, tukauliza yeye kwa ile 10 point. Maneno ya maziwa, maneno ya kahawa, maneno ya majani, maneno ya mfugo. Haya maneno yote Raila alijifanya alikuwa mgonjwa. The new breed of crocodiles are still lying low. They are strong with enough strength. They can attack, and we can assure him that he will never cross Jordan. If he wants to cross Jordan, he must stop reggae.
Wow. If you want to reach Jordan, to cross Jordan, you have to stop reggae. So, Honorable Shege, so you hear of Gunjiri saying that Deputy President William Ruto is playing victim, and he is saying that because over the weekend he spoke about saying that they may have the system, but he has God. Then you've had the sentiments of Honorable Gachagua. What should we be making of right now? And in your view, what is your assessment of the progress made by the handshake vis-a-vis the politics that we have in the country now?
As a normal Kenyan, I appreciate the handshake. Because of the peace that it brought to this nation. You know, we were used to Fridays where there were demonstrations, and especially my community, we are business-minded. And every Friday we had to close businesses, especially in the city center in Nairobi. So after the handshake, things are cool. And I've traversed this country. People are doing their businesses. People appreciate that there is peace in this nation. And I think we have seen even the other section of this world appreciating Kenyans in those steps that were taken by both the president and the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. I want to blame us as a politician. Because, you know, there's this saying that if you're not in the kitchen, if you're not the one who cooked, then the food is not good. And I think that's what has really killed all of us.
Right.
The handshake, then the BBI, the 9 points, as what Mother has said, very nice points. And also an opportunity for Kenyans to express themselves. I have participated in the BBI process in Muranga. And we had these copies, we had the clergy, the opinion shapers, we had everybody, even the politicians, even the ones that we are not on the same political divide, send their people to come. Actually, almost all turned up. And after the discussion, you know, people are like, is this then what is in the BBI? Then what is all this drama that we see in the BBI rallies? And I think that's where we have gone wrong. People have taken the rallies as a moment of fame. And so they are reckless. And there are some, you know, some of the comments that have come up, even from very senior leaders that have not been going very well with our people, with the people on the ground. And that's why I said we need to blame ourselves. And if this BBI doesn't work, if the handshake doesn't work, we will not blame the president. The president, being a president of Kenya, would have ignored and said, I got the government.
Right.
And I have all the machineries. Then he would have gone on with the business. But, you know, he actually reached out for Raila Amolo Odinga, because he also had people who are feeling that we were robbed of.
Right.
Even if that was not the position, because it depends with the narration and narrative that had gone in the country. And we had to really work for peace. So I want to applaud Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta as our president for actually his humility and humbling himself.
Yes.
Now, coming to our side as Jubilee, the problem is with us. And in Kikuyu, we normally say if you have 2 wives, those are 2 pots of poison. And I think that's what we have seen the wives competing here. That's that basically.
Well, the wives in this case.
Because
Raila Odinga
Raila, let me tell you, Raila Odinga had his own team of the NASA. There was Kalonzo Musyoka. I didn't see him when they were doing the handshake. There was Mudavadi. There was Wetangula. All of them, when they actually, I think it was a shocker for all of us in Kenya when we woke up and found the handshake deal. But we have seen them, coming to Raila and actually working with him. Now, on our side as Jubilee, there have been a lot of suspicion. Mother would tell you, even when you walk in Parliament, there are some people who not even shake my hand. There are people who have made it their business to actually pay bloggers to abuse me on social media. There are some people who have even paid for opinion polls, so that we would see that we are not, we've started even, just being nasty to each other. And this is not, we should not blame ODM or NASA, we should blame ourselves as Jubilee, because we are the ones who have not put our house into order, and we need to ask ourselves. And I want to say that I'm disappointed with the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the man I respect. You can't go whining at his position. You can't go telling Kenyans, I don't know, there's a system. What is a system? Even myself, I don't know what the system. We go to Parliament. So if there is something called the system, I think he can discuss that kind of discussion or, in depth with the President. We normally see them when they are going to open projects, laughing together, actually talking. So does he want to tell us that they don't talk? If you go and tell a normal Kenyan that there is a system that you have targeted, so then what should I feel? What should a normal Kenyan feel? Would they feel safe? Let's not incite Kenyans. And I want to say the politicians, ourselves, you are the ones to blame, and especially Jubilee. We must sit down, ask ourselves very hard questions. The handshake has been there for 2 years. The only disadvantage might be we will say that there's weak opposition, but we really don't have a lot of, criticizing the government. But I will tell you, even in Parliament, if Mother has a bill, we have had, the issues of government passing with ease in Parliament. We are no longer fighting. We are no longer pouring water at each other. But the problem, and I want to repeat again, of the whole process is ourselves, Jubilee. We are the ones who need to know that we have a bigger constituency, that our interests.
Is there any desire to do that?
I don't know, because what has happened now, and I want to say it, and I want to say it here loudly and clear, that, the issue of someone becoming a president or myself becoming whatever I would desire 2022 is not a matter of life and death. It is not necessarily that it is me. And let me tell you something, we have just this morning remembered some of our colleagues. Ken Okoth was my colleague in the National Assembly. I was a chair of education then. Where is he today? Let us appreciate each other. Let's live one day at a time. Some of us are living 4 years or 3 years to come. And if we live one day at a time, we'll appreciate. We had Honorable Dori, he's no longer there. So let's tolerate each other. Let's try to reason with each other. But when we dump chest, when we go and incite our people, I have been in those BBI's rallies, and allow me to say it because I think I saw her in Meru. I have not seen Mother. I have gone to Mombasa. I have gone to Kitui. I have gone to Garissa. I was in Meru. And the whole thing that I've seen, the people who you are saying they're not welcome in those BBI rallies, they come with bad intention. You can't come and dramatize. You want to force. I will tell you, in Meru, I had to sit in between the governor of Kiambu and governor of Nyeri. There were no seats. But you come into a rally and you want to think you are so important. You want to force yourself to the front and you want to be offered a seat as who? We really must behave. So what is the intention? Let us behave and stop misleading Kenyans.
Here's the thing, Honorable Martha, even as you have, as you weigh in your opinion, talk to me about, do you believe that the handshake, what also Honorable Cheka has said, has sort of weakened or even killed the opposition at this rate?
Definitely. I think that is for everyone to see, because it's not even about just passing things in Parliament. And as a Parliament, we are not an annexure, or we are not an attachment to the executive.
So we don't have an opposition who is keeping the government accountable.
We should have opposition in
keeping
Parliament.
The government accountable.
We have to, even ourselves in Jubilee, because the opposition role is not just reserved for the minority party. It is about critiquing and positively. So I say that because if you remember the Finance Act that was passed in Parliament amidst all kind of shenanigans, some of us stood and opposed. I personally opposed it because I felt the issue of adding 7 shillings to paraffin affects the common Wanjiko. I opposed it because I felt the issue of building houses is not a priority.
So the government in check right now.
We have to do it even ourselves. And I think through the committees, we have to do it ourselves, whether in your Jubilee or you're in NASA. But of course, it was easier when we had the minority leader speak as opposition, because the voice was more amplified. But allow me to comment on the issue of BBI. I've not attended any rally, and I was looking forward to attending the one for Nakuru. And my view has been simple. If I'm in Nakuru and we are going to have a meeting in Nakuru, why do you need people to travel to Meru? You know? No, I'm just saying, there are people who were transported from our counties, and they were calling us, telling us we have been abandoned, we have been given 500 shillings. I think we have given a bad name. No, let me have my say. We have given a bad name to the BBI meetings. And I think going forward, personally, I think we can sit and take this time to talk with each other as a county leadership and have something to present and have something to say. But at the end of the day, we also must not behave like this is the first time people are talking of betrayal, even in parliament. I mean, we had the Nusumkate government. Honorable Raila Odinga was complaining of carpets and toilets. My friend, it can get petty. It can get very petty. So in terms of, we cannot castigate the DP for saying something, because, would you consider that to be fair, as well? You know, there are people who will see it as petty. There are people who will think we have seen very high profile.
Incitement.
You know, incitement. Let me tell you something. As Nakuru, we are very, very sensitive as a county, because we call ourselves a rainbow county. When we see the utterances by leaders in Narok saying this community must be driven away, whether you're doing it for fame, for short-lived gain politically, we are messing the BBI message. We are messing the BBI spirit, because Nakuru has every tribe. I'm looking forward to us ensuring that no skirmishes come to Nakuru. Gilgil has been home to so many IDPs, from Enosupukia, from Kericho, from Londiani. We cannot have a repeat of what has happened in the past. So I hope this BBI does not incite in terms of violence, but bring people together.
Dr. Odhiambo, I'm coming to you, but Dr. Odhiambo, here's the thing. Siaya Senator James Orengo hinted that your party, ODM, will sort of sponsor an impeachment motion towards the Deputy President in about 2 weeks. But here's the thing. ODM leader Raila Odinga himself and President Uhuru Kenyatta have one dream, and that's a united Kenya. The last time I checked, President Uhuru Kenyatta and DP are one ticket.
Now, before I comment about the Orengo thing, allow me to echo something here that Kenyans need to understand. Before we even come to the role of the opposition in this country, we need to remember what is the constitutional mandate of any elected MP. Elected MP is supposed to represent his or her people. He is supposed to legislate on issues that are affecting his or her people and the entire nation. And most importantly, oversight. Oversight who? The executive.
Right.
Yes. Because this is where the resources are. This is where the decisions and the implementations of these legislations are supposed to take place. And therefore, when we are we keep saying that, oh, the BBI has now killed the opposition, I 100% disagree with this. Why? Because all of us elected MPs, whether we are in part of the side of the party making the government or the party not making the government, we are supposed to oversight. And I think when we are talking about positive and constructive criticism and amendment of things that affect our country, then all of us then should be actually as MPs.
Have you seen constructive criticism, especially against the Deputy President?
Oh yes, like what I'm saying, the Deputy President is stressing himself for nothing. He is still the deputy of Uhuru Kenyatta, and he needs to have peace and walk along with Uhuru Kenyatta. We all respect him as the deputy.
He says, and he actually promised to release...
I really don't like to be dragged in this politics of the deputy president, because to be honest, I think I'm not saying it here for the first time. I've said, if I was to advise the deputy president, let him be a deputy to Uhuru Kenyatta. That is his role for now. Let him not want to create another center of power. He is stressing himself for no apparent reason.
Dr. Pamela, sorry, Dr. Odhiambo, this may be irritating, but we have to be contextual. Because the Deputy President has said that the DCI is investigating an office which is not the real crime. He has said that the DCI and the National Intelligence Service knew of a case that was going on with the fake gun drama.
No, praise the Lord, my brother. Let's be very objective here. Why would the deputy preempt things? The DCI has got the mandate, he has the expertise to investigate and take whichever direction. Why is he refusing? If the DCI thinks that this is how he wants to channel his investigation, why can't he hold his peace and be found not guilty?
We'll listen to one of the voices of the DP.
We are making the deputy president an issue. And according to me, and I want to tell Kenyans outside there, William Samoei Ruto is not the issue in this country.
I'm not a madman. I know what I'm saying. Kwa hivyo, wale wanapanga hizi tunjama eti watanipiganisha mimi na jamii yangu, shauri yao.
All right, Honorable Sabina Chege, that's the Deputy President. He says that he's not a madman to make the allegations, and you heard Dr. Pamela here saying that Ruto is not the issue. I don't know what your take is in as far as his complaints against how he's been treated, not just by the politicians, but also senior civil servants in the government that he co-leads.
Yeah, I will still maintain, and I want to say good morning, Oscar Sudi. Your business will not take me anywhere. So if you have an issue, you don't have to send a text and abuse me. The whole issue about Deputy President, even the funeral, it was about Kene and his family. It was not about him. And I think that's where we stopped with Dr. Pamela. So at the capacity that he is, let him stop being a crybaby. Let him, if they have issues with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, they can go sit down. Because as Mother said in Nakuru, it's a very cosmopolitan place, and as you said, they're rainbow. So as a leader, there's a thing that says a leader knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. That is why we are leaders. But if we tend to make our people feel like there's something that is not going right, and then we go and talk to people, then we are going to build tension in this country. And I don't think that was a spirit of handshake, or that was a spirit of what started in as bringing in peace in Kenya. And I'll request Honorable Mother, because you are going to Nakuru, because I've gone to all these BBI rallies, and I think where we normally lose it, the whole procedure of people giving their views, and I'm happy that they went and gave their views as Nakuru people, the whole issue of now they're coming to present the views, and then we talk, and then people say it's read, the points that the county comes with, and there's the ayes and nays, and the ayes have it. I think that's where BBI's rallies should end. What spoils is the after. You know, people people give their views, you know, the entire county, especially now in the region, like as we had 11 counties, that we had given our views, and then came together and came up with one Mount Kenya document. After that, I think it is important that we stop now the politics, because that's what spoils.
Honorable Chege, you're saying that the DP, if he believes the DCI is not working in his favor, or is after him rather, he should perhaps go and speak with his boss, President Uhuru Kenyatta, and highlighting the pettiness is what you have termed it as. But here's the thing: the Deputy President was speaking at Kene's burial, and he termed DCI being used to discredit and destroy him. But the fact that the DP sits on the National Security Council, and he feels that himself, that his own life is at stake, and that DCI is also impartial in how they're operating, doesn't that not speak volume enough?
It does, but you see, the question is by who? I think it's important. Then if you decide to go out and say, I'm being targeted, then don't just, beat around the bush. Say so and so and so and so. They are the ones who are targeting me. Because right now, if weekly meetings, he chairs the security meeting, and the same security meeting he meets, then he has no confidence in them. And that's why I say there are things that are built, even in a family. I think the wife, when you have, allow me again to go back to the wife and the husband. I don't think the wife would just be going outside and saying, I have a bad husband, or somebody is targeting me, they want to take my husband, and there's all this drama, but you're not sorting out, it's about the two of you. I think the decision by the Deputy President, His Excellency the President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, to come together 2013, it was their personal decision. They actually also involved us later. They sat, they were, of course, close people to them, and they agreed this is a way forward. When Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga decided to come and have the handshake, it was just the two of them. But you see, there's a lot, and that's what I've said, especially in our Jubilee Party, a lot of suspicion. Like, is it supposed to be a vehicle to, like, propel Raila Amolo Odinga? For me, from where I sit, I think no. And that is not the aim. The aim was to bring Kenyans together. Yes. But you see, the way things are going, and politicians, as I said, we are the ones who spoil it.
Yes.
Okay.
We take advantage of a situation. If I see there's a gap or an opening that I'll take advantage and now advance my political ambitions, that's what people do. But I think we should not lose it, and we owe it to Kenyans.
Right.
We need to be truthful.
Right.
And we actually need to just focus and say, is it just all about me?
Okay.
Or do we look at the bigger picture about Kenya? And I think that's what we need to look at. And let me finish about the keeping the government in check. I think the government is kept in check a lot by the committees. When you're doing the committees, when you're doing the budgets and everything else. What we may have lost when we say we have a weak opposition is the drama. You know, we don't have the whistles, we don't have the water. We have the drama, all those things. The tear gases. The drama has reduced, but still Parliament is still keeping check on the government.
Dr. Odhiambo, please answer this for me. Yes. Your party wants to sponsor a motion of impeachment to DP, according to CIS
I think
Senator.
what I read even in the papers, the statement was made by Honorable Orengo. As I sit here, allow me to be myself and say that I've not gotten a summon from the party, that this is what the party wants to do. So it is also important to know that Dr. Pamela Odhiambo can have her sentiments on her feeling. And you know, these impeachment motions, any of the legislators is actually allowed to move them. It doesn't have to be a party's position. If it will be a party's position, then I'm waiting for some official information from the party organs. Meanwhile, allow me to say that when we are insisting that we must have what I like, her language, I liked that. She was talking of the drama. And in that drama, some of us lost dearly. We lost our loved ones. Some people were maimed and all that. Now, when we are talking about maturity, I'm looking forward to a situation where Kenyans can reason. We can still disagree to agree. When we are talking about logistics, we are talking about points, we are talking about objectives, not necessarily going to the road to be tear gassed and killed and all those kind of things. I think this is what Kenyans need to wake up to. And in the fear of God that my colleague there evoked some time back, I think when we go to a funeral, let's mourn and leave. When we go to a church, let us worship and leave. When we go to a BBI, the dialogue with the people. I like what Sabina Chege is bringing up. I think I've even shared this with some of my key leaders at some stage, that when we go and listen to what these people in the region have presented, whoever comes up to speak should say something like, this one has been captured here, this one is a new point, the Secretariat can consider it. And to our anxiety, I think the BBI will actually not close before all the regions are listened to.
All right, I'm just wondering, didn't you hear anything from Martha that you liked? But all the same, Honorable Martha...
I like the 9 points, the 9 points of the BBI.
I don't know why she doesn't like me.
As we close on this, we've seen
Thank you very much.
The disintegration within the Jubilee is not just at the top. We saw Moses Kuria over the weekend saying that Uhuru don't have become president without Ruto, and a lot of daring the system, like you may call it. Do you think there's any chance that all this political disintegration will be resolved and finally offer services to Kenyans who are still yearning for them a few years to the election?
I think, Gituku, what I would say is that it's unfortunate that Jubilee has gone the way we have gone. It's very unfortunate. And being a member of a constituency from where the original handshake happened in 2013 between the president and the deputy president, I'm totally disappointed. And I would say this because I've heard Honorable Sabina Chege talk about our cracks in Jubilee. But I feel, as a leader, even in your own family, if you see your children have gone haywire, and I say that Honorable Sabina Chege comes from a very large family, and I admire, I think 9 children. And 9 children is not easy to manage. So if you realize that they're not going the way, they're not following the rules, you call them. And I've been very hopeful that the president, as the party leader of our Jubilee party, that one time we would have a parliamentary group meeting. Because ODM, even in their own capacity, NASA, in their own parties, they have their meetings regular. In fact, they have strengthened their parties, even as we destroy ours. So I really hope that we stop the blame game. And I hope the president, and I know he's listening and he listens, that as a party leader, all is not lost. We can still bridge the gap and be able to make a way and get a good working relationship. Because if your own house is disintegrating, you cannot go to a neighbor's and start building theirs. I mean, if yours is crumbling, I think it's important that we get that. And I've said it even when we met as Nakuru leaders. And I said this, Nakuru, we would hope that the rally, the president comes in person. The deputy president comes in person. The former prime minister comes in person. By the way, this BBI nonsense will end. This trading of people trying to show off, it will end. Because even in Jubilee, not all of us are good. In fact, some of us are self-seekers. Some in ODM are self-seekers. We are not cut from the same cloth. And we are not equal. Just like the fingers of your hand, they are not equal. People have different targets, short-term and trying to look good, trying to be famous, and trying to be seen like a fighter of your community, and at the same time inciting others. Let me speak about Kenyans burial. And
yes, in closing.
And I offer still my condolences, because this is a person I knew in person. He was a diligent officer, and it is sad that he died the way he died. And I hope that we can have the DCI not just give us stories, because you cannot flash a phone and say you have lost the data. Please get the person Kenei was talking to, name them, put them out there, start the investigations, and not just telling us what has happened and showing us cameras. Please get the people who killed Kenei. Secondly, the issue of the conned guys. I mean, this thing, even the people who are conned, I was saying, you can actually just Google who a Chesa is before you even engage him for a deal in DOD. I mean, I don't know, where are these people who are conned? Who are they? Because even a basic Google search will tell you he's just been fired from government for you to engage him. So, and that is why many issues in terms of the credibility of the story are coming up. So I hope that we'll get to the end of it, and that Kenei's relatives will get to the end. And in history, because even if we were not there in Moi's time, we have read history. And I think if you remember how the retired Moi, the former Moi, President Moi, got into power, the issue of the system is not new. So let us not behave like it is new, because he was actually being told he's a passing cloud. You remember, there are people who thought he's just a passing cloud, and then he stayed for 24 years. So in terms of, it is not a new phenomenon. And I think...
so you think we have another passing cloud?
No, I'm just saying that it's not a new phenomenon. We should not behave like we have never heard of the system before.
All right, I want us to take a look at the feedback that you've been sending to us on 2242 as well as on Twitter at Citizen TV Kenya. Being Charlie, you're saying that Martha Wangari has nailed it. Kenya's political class seem to thrive in division. Solve on...
Solve on a divide.
Solve on divide, I don't know what that means. They create another. For the political class, it is about dividing the electorate to stay relevant and keep them in a permanent state of conflict for selfish gains.
All right, still on Twitter, let's see what you're saying. Governor 254, good morning. You say Kenyans have got a valid expectation that the architect of Handshake and BBI will create a system that every 5 years, as they approach election, they do not become nervous, and will create an electoral infrastructure where we have predictable systems.
You continue to say, Zach Muthusi, that initial intentions of BBI were very noble, but later, as you all can see, it was hijacked. We should say, rest in peace, BBI.
My goodness. All right. Lazaro, good morning to you. You're saying Handshake has brought some relative calm, transforming it to a political outfit would erode its usefulness.
All right, those are just some of the things that we've been saying. Thank you so much for watching. I know Sabina wanted to say something, but unfortunately we're not out of time. Dr. Pamela Odhiambo, thank you so much for making time for us from Migori County. Honorable Sabina Shege from Murang'a County, and Honorable Martha Wangari from Gilgil constituency in Nakuru County. Thank you so much for making time for us. And up next we have Comedy Talk.
Exactly. I can't wait to see who Willie Soburu will be surprising us with this morning.
Read that name. Just read it.
What is it, Sam?